Last week I was home, Tom Segura, and I'm driving down Kennedy Boulevard, and we stop at a light. The beauty, Tom Segura, I want to do this, but I want to do this for your studio only. I only want Tom Segura Productions involved in this. When you have nothing to do, I want you to get a camera, get the fucking dude with the glasses, Josh Potter.
Yeah.
Let's get him nice and stoned. We rent a car in New York. And we drive down Kennedy Boulevard, and I tell you every corner where I rob somebody. It is the fucking funniest thing. I used to rob a gas station across the school from the high school.
What?
There was a gas station across the street from the high school. It was a Cuban guy named George. So the gas station was in Amico, so we just called him Georgie Amico. That was his name. And it started out all right, but I could see that he was a dick. So one night we wanted to rob a gas station, me and my buddy Darren Regos, God rest his soul. So the first time we robbed it, we didn't really rob it. I went down and tried to rob a water pistol from Pathmark, and I got caught robbing the water pistol because you put tape around it, and it looks like a gun. You pistol, pop out a fucking thing, and I got caught, and I talked my way out of it. So we went and we got like another plastic gun from my friend's fucking little brother, and we taped it up, and me and Rego were going to rob the joint, and we went in, and the fucking dude was washing his hands, and he had the bundle of money on top of the counter. You can't write this shit. No. You can't write this shit. And I remember looking at Darren, and I just grabbed it, and we just ran like pussies down the corner. We ran for like 3 fucking blocks, 4 blocks, full speed ahead. We get to the corner, there's nothing. There's Ugats. It was a Jewish bankroll. It was like a 20 with a bunch of singles in the middle. He got us. So now we wait like 6 months, and there's a new attendant. And this guy, we went in there full speed ahead with fucking baseball bats. Darren broke the glass. We grabbed them. Give me your fucking money. We took them. We had masks on with ski holes in them, the whole fucking thing. We took them. That time, he had like the small 8. We got them good because in Jersey, they got to pump your gas.
Yeah.
So they keep the fucking money. So we always knew this shit. So we shook him down. And then we did that to him. And then another time, he had a bunch of tires out there. And we just went one night with a car and just started putting tires in the car. You
took all the tires?
And there was no cameras in the state. That's when they used to wrap them with aluminum foil.
How often were you robbing places?
I would alternate them. I had a couple different spots, and I would just hit them when they were weak.
Yeah.
So
don't you miss that a little bit?
Oh, with all my heart. Yeah. I see shit. I see so many openings now, but there's cameras everywhere because it's in your blood. You know what I'm saying? It's in your fucking genes.
And plus the thrill, right? It's got to be such a thrill.
So we kept robbing this guy. Tires, you know, the whole thing, soda machine. He had a soda machine. We broke it one night. This guy, he called the cops. The cops were like, we know these kids. We can't arrest these kids.
Yeah.
How old are you? With them. We had to be 16, 17.
And no one at the tire shop said 16-year-olds with trucks without tires is weird?
No, we would move shit like fuck. We had a guy that we would dump it on. But the guy got so aggravated, he called the cops so much. He crossed the street, and he started talking to the superintendent of the schools. And the superintendent of schools, we grew up in his house too. And he was like chunky guy. He looked like Paulie from Goodfellas. And it's that scene when the guy telling them, complaining, these kids, you got to calm them down. And he would say, and Mr. I don't want to say his name, God rest his soul. Mr. A would have a cigar and he'd go, I talk to them all the time, but they don't listen. It was just like that. Just like that. Greetings from motherfucking Podcastville. It's Monday, May 13th. Wash your pussy and powder your fucking asshole. It's going to be a good motherfucking week. Tommy Bunn's in the fucking house.
Jose, ¿qué pasa, Jose?
How are you?
I'm great, man.
Now, when you see your dad, do you speak Spanish to him at all?
No, my dad doesn't. My mom.
Your mom?
Yeah.
What does she say to you in Spanish? Anything?
Ay, Tomcito, como, por favor, dame un beso,
all that shit.
All that shit. Everything, man. She speaks to me, pretty much 50-50. A lot of Spanish, though.
Did you take Spanish in high school?
I did. I was through it all. Like I passed level 4 AP sophomore year. So then they threw me in French. And I got a D. And then
what a fucking nightmare that is.
I thought it was going to be as easy as Spanish, and I was like, shit.
No. You never switch. You got to keep in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I should have done Italian.
For me, it was Italian. Yeah. I took Italian, and I could understand it.
Yeah, Italian.
It was funny. I was watching The Godfather last night, and the more south you go on the boot, the more Spanish she gets.
Really?
Yeah, like when you listen to Salazzo talk, he's pretty much speaking Spanish. Tu padre. He was fucking like, I forget what the line, I go, wow, it's so close. But I grew up with Sicilians, and when they would talk, I could pick up a fucking.
You can understand a lot of it.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
But
I heard like
north.
Then it gets a little
complicated.
A little froggier, right?
Yeah.
With the fucking the French speakers.
Like I used to, it's like some guys say buongiorno, like Northern Italy, and maybe don't quote me on this. I don't know, but other people say che fa. That's hello. So I think that's more of a Sicilian dialect, you know.
Yeah.
But what the fuck do I know?
You ever spoken with like a real, Argentine, and you're like, are you speaking Italian? And it takes you a second to realize they're speaking Spanish.
Well,
because they sing it, you know.
It's like speaking to Spaniards.
Yeah.
People that are really from Spain, their Spanish will complicate. But right now, at this point in the game, Segura, I could maintain a simple conversation. The shit I was talking when I was 13 has disappeared from my mind.
Yeah.
Like when I was 13, I was dropping scientific facts in Spanish.
Yeah.
I could talk to my mother in a more. Once they died, that whole world died. You know, I was from Union City where you spoke Spanish. Like the Cubans spoke Spanish when they were amongst themselves. So you heard it. You heard the music. You know, I remember it, and I'm happy that I remember it, but it's not like, and it was proven when I went on the Rogan podcast with Yoel. I didn't know a lot of the shit he was saying. Common words that are simple that I picked up after I listened to the podcast. So it's like a muscle that
It goes away.
it goes away.
You know, I used to be really sharp at one point. When I was in college, I did a semester in Madrid, and when I came back from there, I'm writing term papers in Spanish, giving presentations in Spanish. I came back, and I'm not shitting you, my Spanish was better than like my mom's, than other natives, because I was just so immersed in it. You know,
How was Madrid? 6 months?
6 months, yeah.
How was it?
That was dope, dude. I love Madrid.
How was the food?
Amazing.
Like everybody says,
Amazing. Yeah.
seafood inspired, everything. Right?
A lot, yeah, everything. I mean, but like
70%.
Spanish cuisine is, I mean, I think it's phenomenal. So yeah, it was, a lot of seafood. I mean, I always saw the paella, all the famous,
All the
but, like,
mariscos
it's
and all that
so
shit.
good. Yeah, it's so good.
When I was in Jersey this last time, and you can't compare it. There's a place called Las Tapas on Bergen Line Avenue, and I went in there. The fucking paella was great. But my all-time favorite paella back there is a dump
It's always like that,
in
though.
Moonachie, New Jersey, where fucking, for some reason, everybody's head is just huge in Moonachie. Every time you see people walking like they're trying to carry their head, something happened with the water there. Giant stadium, something. I don't even know if Moonachie has a high school. They would have blown it up by now. I don't fucking know. But they got a fucking pie, and it's dirty. A volunteer, you got to give them 45-minute notice. And then you got to warm up because you got the shrimp with the garlic.
Yeah.
And you got to dip the bread in the garlic. If not, it just doesn't fucking work.
And I like when you scrape that pan.
That garlic pan. Oh, my God, Jesus Christ.
Man.
I just went. I had the clams.
Making me
'cause that's what
salivate
tapas
right
are,
now.
basically, are appetizers
Yeah.
and shit like that. But it's funny, my mother she said that, my mother told me she had to do like, and I can't do the timeline. Like when I'm trying to figure it out now. My mother had to do like a 6-month apprenticeship with my grandmother on my father's side because they were from Spain and she had him spoiled rotten.
With how she cooking it?
Yeah, so that was part of the deal to get married to him. You
You got to know how to cook for
him.
Whoa.
So when my father
That's some
died,
old school shit.
Yeah, so when my father died, my mother kept cooking those meals. And there was a fish soup that she made that nobody's ever made because she would take the fish and break it into little strands to take the bones out with potatoes or some fideo. Mm-hmm. You know, like when you put fideo, it's noodles, but fideo is something completely different. Like,
Yeah.
when you have fideo, you know you're having fucking fideo. And
Did your dad die in Cuba? Or-
no, he died in Union City.
He did.
He died in Union City.
And how much before your mother did he die?
13 years.
13 years before she
13
died.
years before my mother.
Did you remember your dad?
I could lie to you sections. Like I remember 2 stories. I remember me and him driving under the Lincoln Tunnel with me sitting on his lap, which you couldn't do today, no seatbelt, smoking a cigarette. You know what I'm saying? They'll throw you in jail for that.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember him and my mother talking in the living room, like and me eating bread with olive oil. Mm-hmm. But that's it. I don't remember nothing else. But it's fucking sickening that I feel his presence. Like whenever I leave the house, I worry about my daughter. 30 fucking 5 school shootings this year.
It's crazy.
you see that little young kid's face. Did you see the one fucking 12-year-old? He's like, I get a bat, bitch.
No.
And that's how these kids gotta be. Yeah. They interviewed a 12-year-old kid from the Colorado shooting this past week.
Yeah.
And the kid was like, I'll take a bat or whatever.
He said, you got a bat? Yeah. He's like, I don't want to go down.
I'm not gonna go down unless I'm swinging. That's, and that's, I'm trying to, how old is your eldest now?
He is 3.5.
3.5. Yeah, you got 2 more years to not to worry. And then they go to kindergarten, and then you're on the road, and there's a school shooting. And, when there's a school shooting in Kentucky, it affects all of us.
Yeah,
as
of
parents.
course. No, it's terrible.
And it's amazing how people who don't have kids, dog, my whole view has changed on kids. I've always loved kids anyway. Like, I'm not Michael Jackson. I'm not going to invite them to the house and fucking go on a great adventure
kids
with
are
them.
great, yeah.
But I like kids. I like talking to them. I like observing kids and where their head is at. When all that shit happened before, you grieve for the parents. Like, you're like, I would hate to be. No parent should have to bury their child.
No.
So you grieve about all that shit. But at the same time, now Mercy goes to school. And now when I'm on the road or whatever, you have to fucking prepare them. You have to prepare them. Like, I've already shot a gun in front of her just to see if she'd shit her pants. You have to prepare them, man. It's a different fucking world. And I got to tell you something. If anybody should have shot up a school, it would have been a guy like me that lost his mother at 17, that fucking was really confused, that was angry at the world, This God that they talked to me about for fucking 15 years, where the fuck is he?
Yeah.
There's no God would remove his mother from his kid.
Right.
And I would never think of blowing it. At that age, first of all, this is my place of business.
Yeah.
That's why I sold my acid. How am I going to shoot up my own joint? You know what I'm saying? Why am I going to shoot up my own joint?
Yeah.
So it just doesn't make fucking sense to me when
the fucking shooting thing is so goddamn depressing, man. Did you see the fucking gun raid in Holmby Hills?
Yeah. 1,000
Holy
guns.
Now, where's
shit.
Holmby Hills?
That's Beverly Hills, Bel Air adjacent, like right there. It's big time money. And they fucking found 1,000 guns.
I saw sheets and covers and shotguns, like
rifles, assault rifles, all kinds of shit.
that motherfucker had more guns than Lincoln.
Yeah, he did.
That motherfucker was going to war. That's
He was
the
ready to go. I think they said he was a white supremacist.
They haven't really released much info.
You know who owned the house? There's the Getty, one of the daughters of the Getty.
I'm telling you, something's not right here.
By the way, how fucking upsetting is it that the OK symbol has been hijacked? Like that now that's a white supremacist thing. Do you know that?
I don't even know what the OK symbol is.
That is considered.
It's a flying asshole where I come from.
Well,
okay? That's not an OK symbol. For years.
What is a
where I
flying
came
asshole
from.
Look at it. That's a flying asshole. That's what.
This was
You ever see an asshole fly? No.
And then the South Americans were all like, "This means you're gay." So they're like, "This means you want some dick in your ass." You make the OK symbol.
This has always been dick in your ass.
Yeah, put a dick in my ass.
If you're standing on the corner and some guy pulls up at the light and goes like this, he's asking you, you want to dick me in the fucking ass with a small 30? He's giving you 3 fingers or the small 300.
When I grew up, it was a game. Like if you got someone to see it, you got to punch them. It was a game. But now it's.
Well, who would you play these games with?
I don't know.
Other little faggy fucking kids. This means fucking in the ass.
Yeah.
And this means a flying asshole.
But now it means white fucking power.
You remember your first blowjob?
Yeah.
What was the guy's name?
Joey. God damn it.
Did you ever experiment? Did you do some gay shit?
No.
Not even a little bit?
Not even
He's
a little.
thinking about it now.
Yeah. No,
He's
I'm
in
not.
Hollywood.
You
Yeah.
never
I
jerked the
wrestled.
guy out.
No.
He's
Come
been to
on.
gay bars and shit.
Not yet.
He goes to Monday Night Wrestling.
Life is young. Life is young.
You ever had like a tennis coach who was like, "No, you got to do it like this." Like,
I was a chubby kid. No one ever did that to
Did
me.
you
Thank
watch a
God.
documentary on that soccer coach? It's
No.
on HBO. I caught the first fucking hour of it, and I had to turn it off because I could see my wife's jaw dropping.
like some fucking molester.
The dude, the fucking coach of the Olympics.
Oh, wait, the gymnastics coach?
They did
Oh,
a documentary on him.
That
dog.
guy.
He was opening up your asshole and putting 2 fingers
and
in your ass.
telling you it was helping you.
Yeah, it was helping you.
So
if you finger or your hips tight, let me stick my hand in your pussy with no fucking ointment on my hand.
Nothing.
And he's like, creepy fucking dude.
And he did it to like hundreds of them, right?
Hundreds.
Jesus Christ, man.
And, you know,
that's another one too. You hear about that, and you're like, fucking hey, man. Like it's so depressing.
In a fucking scary fucking world, and you got to prepare yourself.
Well, I noticed, like, for you, Joe, you always go to your daughter's events. It seems like it seems weird to send your kid in an Uber to an event just with some random coach.
Fuck. What? No way.
There's a lot of people who do that. Yeah.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started. You can't get me started with this shit.
No, I don't. I mean,
especially in this where we live, this area is very. I don't know. You know, for years I was angry with my mother. Like in my early 30s when I went to prison, I wasn't angry with my mother. I just thought that she didn't do a good job. Now I would open the casket and suck one of the bones on her feet because she did a phenomenal job. And here's the sad thing. She was a degenerate gambler that was pretty much baseline functioning alcoholic. She could do more as an alcoholic than most people do straight. She would eat people's fucking lunches. Would, as a woman, she ate people's lunch. She ate man's lunches. Never mind these cunty women that complain all day and don't do dick.
Yeah.
So now I have a big time, because the reason I'm in this room at 56 is because of the principles that she exposed me to and the little things she did. My mother worked till 3 a.m, dog. And my mother believed that a bartender had a drink to sell drinks. My mother believed she had business principles. She's like, I don't want a bartender who don't drink. You have to drink when you're behind the bar. It was the 60s and 70s, you know.
So she really believed that.
She believed that. She believed her bartenders could not have their boyfriends at the bar. If your boyfriend shows up, you're fired. Not a key. I don't ever want the illusion that guy doesn't have a chance with you.
Right. Smart.
You know, I went to Benihana the day I got back from New York. I look at businesses and I look at what a waste they are. That Benihana in Encino is as ghetto as I've ever seen a place in my life. I was embarrassed for them. Papers on the floor. There was 2 cocktails outside. Encino's a white neighborhood.
Yeah.
And it was disgusting. But it wasn't the people's fault. It was that they did not hire somebody to greet people at the door.
We're going in like fucking Marines, you understand me?
Welcome to church, motherfucker.